welcome. Today we're going to tackle a really core concept in SAP S4Hana quality management. Every single supply chain has to deal with two kinds of things, right? You've got the routine checks you plan for, and then you've got the unexpected problems that just pop up. So we're going to break down exactly how SAP QM handles both of these, with two very distinct, very powerful processes.
So here's how we're going to break it down. First, we'll talk about why this is also important in the first place. Then we'll get into the main event, SAP's two paths for quality, the planned versus the unplanned. We'll look at the key tools for each, and then we'll wrap it all up with a really clear side-by-side comparison to make sure it all makes perfect sense. Let's get into it.
Okay, so first things first. Why does any of this matter? Well, just think about a modern supply chain for a second. It is a massive, sprawling, interconnected web. So making sure quality is high isn't just about one little step. It's about every single link in that chain. It's kind of like owning a car. You've got your scheduled oil changes. That's your planned maintenance. But you also need a plan for when you get a flat tire. That's the unexpected problem. A good system, like SAP QM, has to be great at handling both.
And that really brings us to the million-dollar question, doesn't it? When you've got materials moving all over the place, being produced, getting shipped out, how on earth do you maintain any kind of control over quality? Well, this is the exact problem that SAP S4HANA Quality Management is built to solve. And it does it by building quality checks right into the flow of your logistics, using two really clear and distinct approaches.
And here they are. These are the two fundamental paths for quality in the SAP world. The system organizes everything into these two big buckets, what it calls planned processes and event-controlled processes. Honestly, understanding this one distinction is the absolute key to unlocking the power of the whole QM module.
Let's break this down a bit. Over here on the left, you've got your planned processes. These are your standard routine quality checks. Think about when a truck of raw materials shows up from a supplier. The system automatically says, okay, time for an inspection. It's proactive. Now on the right, you have event controlled. This is for, well, everything else. All the unexpected stuff. An operator on the floor spots a defect. A customer calls with a complaint. This is the reactive side of the quality coin.
Okay, so let's dive into that first path, the planned, proactive approach. This is all about mastering the routine, making sure the standard stuff is always checked. And the main tool that SAP gives us to do this is something called an inspection lot.
So what the heck is an inspection lot? The easiest way to think of it is as an automatic work order for your quality team. When those raw materials arrive or when a step in production is finished, SAP automatically generates this digital request telling someone to go inspect a specific amount of stuff. It's really the engine that drives every single planned quality check in the system. And an inspection lot isn't just some simple alert. No way. It is a complete package of information. It tells the inspector exactly what material to check and how to check it by pulling in all the right specifications. It even defines the sample size and tells the system where to post the costs of the inspection. It's this level of detail that makes sure your quality checks are consistent and repeatable every single time.
So, if you remember one thing about this planned path, let it be this. Its entire purpose is to be proactive. It's about building quality right into your process from the very start, catching potential issues through regular, scheduled checks before they can become huge, expensive problems.
Okay, but what happens when things don't go to plan? I mean, let's be real, that happens all the time. What if a defect is spotted on the production line, or a customer calls up and they're not happy? Well, that's where we pivot to the second path, reacting to the unexpected with something called quality notifications.
A quality notification is your go-to tool for all these spontaneous issues. You can think of it as a formal incident report. It's the system's way of raising a flag and saying, hey, we have a problem here. It's what officially kicks off the whole process to investigate, document, and ultimately resolve whatever went wrong. And the triggers for one of these can be just about anything outside of the normal routine. It could be a worker on the line who spots something that just doesn't look right. Maybe a shipment arrives from a supplier and the boxes are all smashed up. Or you get that dreaded call from a customer with a complaint. It's the tool you use to capture any of these unplanned quality events.
So the goal here is completely different from the planned path. It's not about being proactive anymore. The problem has already happened. Now it's all about a fast, effective reaction. The goal is to contain the issue, figure out what happened, fix it, and hopefully learn from it so it doesn't happen again.
All right, let's bring this all together now. We've looked at both paths separately, but the real magic is seeing them side by side. This is where the difference really becomes crystal clear. This table just lays it all out perfectly.
Look at how every single row tells the exact same story. An inspection lot is triggered by a planned event, like a goods movement, which makes its nature proactive and its purpose a scheduled check. But on the other side, a quality notification is triggered by an unplanned problem, like a defect, which makes its nature reactive and its purpose to record and solve that problem. See how the logic just flows right from the trigger? It's really that simple.
Now, just to make absolutely sure this sticks, let's run through a super quick self-check. We'll use 5 key questions that cover the whole life cycle of any quality event, planned or unplanned. Okay, let's walk through this. First, the trigger. For an inspection lot, it's planned, like goods arriving. For a notification, it's unplanned, like finding a defect. Second, execution. With a lot, you follow a set of predefined steps. With a notification, you document the specific issue. Third, the scope. A lot tells you the exact quantity to inspect. A notification is all about defining the scope of the problem itself. Fourth, the results. For a lot, you record actual measurement results. For a notification, you're recording your analysis of the problem. And finally, the outcome. An inspection lot leads to a formal pass or fail decision. A notification leads to a decision on what to do with the bad products. See? 2 different paths with 2 totally different answers for every step of the journey.
And that brings us to one last thing to think about. In today's crazy, fast-moving world, which of these 2 paths is actually more critical for a business? Is it better to perfect your proactive, planned processes so that nothing ever goes wrong? Or is it more important to become an absolute master of the rapid reactive response for when things inevitably do go sideways?